Well, if you just joined us, you're welcome. You're watching Politics HQ here on News Center Television, broadcasting live to 54 African countries and beyond. And of course, we've been looking at the journey to Nigeria's next election. But a bit of news here coming in, just a breaking story from the Labour Party, and specifically Dr. Doyin Okupe has resigned as the Director General of the Labour Party in a letter, as you can see on the screen, sent specifically to the candidate of the party, Peter Obi. You recall that I briefed you yesterday about my personal travels in seeking justice and clearing my name using the Nigerian legal system to pursue same. I have invested too much in your campaign to allow my personal travels to become a source of distraction. In the circumstances, I have opted to step aside and plead that you appoint a new campaign DG who can continue the assignment with zero distractions. God bless you and family, Doyin. That's the letter, and that's the news coming in from the Labour Party. Now, Ayobami Oyalowo, political and development economist, joins me live. Thank you, and thanks for your time as always. Ayo, it's been a roller coaster ride for all political parties, even though I know you're also a politician. But again, let's put on the political scientists and economists cap for a bit. Let's start with what has transpired within the Labour Party. That breaking story from Labour Party. This earlier today, many Nigerians did say that if Doyin Okupe were a man of honor, he should resign, and he's just done that. So what's your take?
Well, thank you very much. It's been a while to be on your show. Well, it's a good thing Doyin Okupe has resigned because, like he rightly said in his letter, his travels will be a distraction. He has been convicted of some charges bordering on fraud and money laundering. So even if he wants to go ahead and do what you call an appeal, it will be a distraction to whoever is working with. So it's a good thing he has resigned. This is us being very fair. And this also brings to the fore some of the things we've been telling these group of young people who have been vocal, who actually think Nigeria is somewhere where one man can magically change everything because they erroneously have defied someone who was also a part of the system as a governor, a member of the special team, economic team for Jonathan in the PDP, a running mate to the PDP candidate, the perennial PDP candidate Atiku Abubakar in 2019, and now maybe because he realized that he's not going to make it this year, he jumped to the Labour Party, and they suddenly think he's an angel, and we have said nobody in Nigerian political firmament, in fact, nobody on this earth is an angel. What we all need to look at is to keep looking at candidates, their pedigree, their antecedents, and the quality of what they are saying they can do. Not anybody can come and tell us what the problems of Nigeria. It's easy to do, but how do you solve the problems? So these are the things we should be looking at.
So now let's start talking about issues. The campaigns are out there, and we've seen the campaign trains of politicians, political parties. Help us make an assessment of what you've been able to gauge so far. Are the politicians staying on issues, or have they veered off to the extent that mudslinging has taken the order?
The network is a little bit dicey, but I think you're asking me if politicians have been staying on the issues. Is that what you say?
Yes.
Yeah, I think largely, I must be very fair here, the APC campaign has largely stayed on the issue. The candidate has been very unequivocal, and all his spokespersons have been more concerned with telling Nigerians what the manifesto of that party is about and what the party intends to do to improve the lot of Nigeria. Apparently, the other parties have been more focused on mudslinging, name-calling, creating dramas when there is no drama. We were all a party to the drama that happened with one news, a medium, a TV station that has decided that if a candidate does not come to his station, then they have to turn it into a battle. So these are the things we have been seeing. And we have also seen spokesperson for the PDP also making the person, disparaging the person of Asuwaju as their own campaign model operandi, which is very sad. Because if we want to go into personality destruction and mudslinging, it's not going to augur well for Nigerians. But I think largely the ruling party and the most likely party to win the election has continued to stay on the issue, which is how do you consolidate? I mean, I was...
aren't you saying this because you're a member of the APC? Because if you look at it, by and large, speaking objectively, it looks to many Nigerians that all political parties so far have also been staying on, both issues and throwing tantrums at each other. If you look at the campaign structures of the two political parties, you can actually exempt anyone from not, going the dirty way, Ayo. Just being honest.
Because Sulaiman, let me say this.
Go ahead.
Once in a while, you will have these brickbats, and I know our candidate has made some comment about the fact that the PDP candidate is not qualified, and he gave his reason. And also the other one who always drops fake statistics and where it's economy, he has said that, and those are issues. However, we have not, for once, gone into issues like talking about the alleged drug issue of Peter Obi in Malaysia, because to us it's not an issue. We have not gone into the alleged paternity issue of Atiku Abubakar from where he comes from. We didn't make it an issue because for us it's not an issue. When you actually talk about their competence, we can bring it to the fore, we can debate that. But we will not go into that low gutter area of saying things like, his father is this, this is how, those for me are the dirty things. Talking about the fact that they are not competent is not a dirty tactic. It's just highlighting to Nigerians why we believe, or why the APC believe that Asiwaju is the most competent and the most qualified candidate for the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Honestly, it's something that has been debated and that has been agreed that there must be no personality mudslinging, name calling, and dragging people's family and all manner of things into the campaign. And I think the APC has largely stayed on course in that area. One of the spokespersons of Atiku just 2 or 3 days ago started the same shenanigan of Asiwaju's primary school, Asiwaju's father's name, all manner of nonsense things. And I think those are not what Nigerians are interested in. You will agree with me, if I want to come and work in office today, and you ask for my CV, the next thing you will be asking for is my diploma and my degrees. You don't care about the primary school I went to because it doesn't really make any difference now. For the competence you need in my head, it's my diploma, it's my work experience. And those are the things we have been parading. Asiwaju graduated from Chicago State University. Asiwaju was a senator. Asiwaju was a former governor. So those are the credentials we bring to the table. And I think for us, it should be the basis. If you want to employ somebody, you have to employ the man or the woman based on the job that they have done before and how they have performed. So calling into question their competence in the former jobs they have done is not a dirty tactic at all.
All right, okay, let's dig in deep now. All right, Ayo, let's dig in deep quickly now. It's barely 2 months to that election in February here in the country. What's the deal for Nigerians from the APC? That is a ruling party. Many are still asking, perhaps show cause why the people should have the APC re-elected as a ruling party.
Okay, quickly, I will start by looking at some of the sectors, well, of course, we can't dissect everything. But in terms of infrastructure, for instance, I've had people ask, okay, when you build the bridges and the road, what does it bring? Okay, quickly, if you are supposed to do a business transaction, and normally the travel time was 10 hours, and by constructing this, for instance, the second Niger bridge, you've cut that travel hour to maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. Automatically, productivity is enhanced. Excuse me. Jobs are created along that corridor. So those are the things that the APC is bringing to the table. As I speak with you, the Bonny Bodo Bridge, the one that will link the South-South to the rest of Nigeria, is almost at a very advanced stage. So those are the things the APC brings to fore in terms of infrastructure, developing infrastructure, because you see, many people don't understand how these things work. Infrastructure gives you the opportunity to reduce time for travel, to build your economy over time, and you may not see the result in 24 hours. But trust me, my brother, the result is that. Let me give you an example. Imagine, as we are in Lagos now, there is no third mainland bridge. Just imagine what Lagos will look like today. So that is what infrastructure does. It enhances the quality of life, it enhances productivity, it reduces stress, and it also builds the economy. And then you must also remember that before now, when the NBS brings out the result of our GDP every quarter, before, service industry, construction industry, and all those other areas were dormant. But today, they are about the second, third largest areas of contribution into our GDP. So clearly, infrastructure is a huge, huge plus to us. Don't also forget that we've had this conundrum of power. It looks like it can never be solved. But as I speak to you today, with the CMS transaction, just $2.5 billion. And as I speak with you, they are already deploying both mobile and fixed system to ensure that our electricity improves. And in the next couple of months, the improvement will be so glaring that everybody will know that, look, something has changed in that system. And this is achieved because of infrastructural drive of the APC. And then if you look at agriculture, the government has done massively well in agriculture, unlike before, when we were almost completely dependent on imported agricultural products for feeding our population. We are coming to the point where we will not just feed ourselves, we will soon begin to export food items to break the mold of importation and reduce our dependence on foreign food, and also build our food security. And then in terms of security, people may want to keep talking about bandit, but you see, we love to stay on the topic even when it has improved. Yes, we had the influx of banditry after the Boko Haram issue has been almost completely dealt with. Why? Because most of these criminals found their ways into other areas. But as I speak to you today, these people are being dislodged, but the news is silent on them. People keep talking about, insecurity. But clearly, insecurity has improved to a very good extent that now you can just be saying it, but in reality, in their heart, they know that this government has done extremely well. So when you look at all these things combined together, the APC has tackled what people didn't tackle in 16 years. And over the next period of months and incoming years, the result will be glaring that this government has done well, and it deserves
speaking of which, talking about results and also talking about 16 years of the PDP, that's why Nigerians are saying the two parties, your party, the APC, and the PDP, have both been tested by the Nigerian electorate, and they think that perhaps it's time for them to have another taste of another political party, perhaps not the APC, not the PDP.
But there are no other better option. The only option we have now is the APC to build a legacy. I mean, whatever you are looking at today will be what we have termed the PDP Lite. The NNPP is a PDP. The LP candidate was PDP until May or June, when you could no longer bear the heat in the PDP. So you will not take PDP away and then bring them back through the back door. It's going to be a very dangerous and disingenuous way of taking back the power and giving it to PDP. just the Okupe issue we're talking about. Okupe was in PDP just a few weeks back before he decided to come to Labour, and we have seen how it all ended. So let's not lie to ourselves. This contest is between the APC and the PDP. I remember Okupe as a spokesperson to a PDP president. He said, and I quote, "Nigeria is too poor. We cannot afford new trains." Today, not only is the federal government of Nigeria giving Nigerians new trains, a state government in Nigeria, the Lagos state government, today has just launched the Blue Rail line, which is all brand new, and we are doing this by any less. So clearly, you can't compare the APC and the PDP. The APC has delivered largely, despite the fact that the world has gone through so many turbulent times under the reign of the APC. We have had 2 recessions. We've had the international world shutdown of the COVID that was occasioned by the COVID outbreak. Yet, we have been able to stay on course. Some of the countries that were on the same trajectory with us, for instance, a country like Venezuela, today, if you put us side by side, you will not want to be Venezuelan today because they were not lucky to have a party like the APC to rescue them when they had a change of government. So the APC has been able to maintain and put Nigeria on a path towards development despite the challenges that Nigeria has faced and the world has faced. We like to localize our problem and pretend like we are not part of the global community.
Now let's localize this before you leave. And now you just talked about apologies to Doyin.
Far better than
Ayo, if you can hear me, allow me comment. Ayo, apologies for butting in. Let's close on this. Yes, let's close on this, and it has to do with localizing an issue. You just mentioned Lagos State, talk about the launch of the Blue Rail service, and perhaps one of the key concerns, you also live in Lagos once, and your constituents must have mentioned to you about the menace of area people, area boys, of thugs, especially that have made almost it impossible for the Lagos State to have a good transportation sector. What do you think the APC can do to right this wrong in the transportation sector if it gets elected?
While I do not claim to be an expert in Lagos matter because I don't work for the Lagos State government, I can say this clearly, that some of the things the Lagos State government is trying to do is to deregulate the transport sector. If you follow the news, just this weekend also, they launched very huge, massive equipment and system in the waterways. And now we're talking about the railways. And you already have the lag bus and the BRT. You also have the lag ride. So by the time these things begin to kick in their thousands, you will reduce the power of this Agbero, or whatever they are called, because you can't carry a gun and kill people. You can only reduce them to the barest minimum. You and I remember some times ago in Oshodi, how Oshodi used to look like because of the green Moluwe. I said green, yellow Moluwe. But today they are no longer available. So what you do is not to kill people, is to change the system, and then you have 2 options. Either you change with the system so that you get better, because some of these drivers, rather than being a nuisance to the world, have been able to go through trainings and programming. Some of them drive now the BRT, and the BRT is one of the best mode of transportation system in Nigeria. In fact, it's a model in Nigeria. The Kaduna State government is already copying and trying to put it into practice. Same thing with the Kano State government. So Lagos has done extremely well. The problem Lagos has is that it has the smallest landmass in Nigeria, yet has the largest population. And I keep saying it, Lagos is a victim of the failure of other states in Nigeria. If other states are doing well, you will not have this mass influx of people into Lagos and then bringing so many problems and baggage along with them. So by the time Lagos is able to deal with this transport system and make it much more modern and transparent, you will be able to reduce, if not completely minimize, the impact of these criminals and problematic people around. Also, do not forget that some young people contributed to this problem when they went around burning down police stations, killing policemen, and all those things about 2 years ago. So it will take time to rebuild this confidence. And I remember it was that period that these commercial buses that private bus, I forgot what they call them now, these small private cars that are like minivans, suddenly became a thing. And
all right, Ayo.
That most of the people who do what they call one chance criminal use those minivans, those private minivans that have now become
all right.
the legal transportation system.
I'd like to thank you for your time, Ayobami Oyalowo. We're out of time. Political and development economist. Good to speak with you on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sulaiman. Thanks for having me.